Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to my next mini project. Okay, so I have this guitar which was in my shop. It's a new guitar for sale, and when my wife was in the shop the other day talking to a customer, she found something on the floor and luckily brought it to me. So let's have a little close-up look at this guitar. You see a little problem there. So what she found was this. She found this piece on the floor and luckily brought it to me, and I instantly recognised it as half of a bridge. I thought, okay, I better go and see what the problem is there. So there's your problem. And I've loosened all the strings off because I was worried about it, you know, pinging all over the place. And it turns out that the entire bridge has become detached. Now, in my shop, because I've now moved the workshop out of the shop, you know, into this unit, I'm not in the shop all the time with the air conditioning on. So what I'm thinking has happened is that because the temperature is a little bit higher now in the shop than it normally is, I think that the heat and got to this, and I think probably this bridge has dried out quite considerably, and I think it just gave up the ghost and basically split in half. Now I'm guessing that because this piece was found on the floor and this was still attached kind of like that, I'm guessing that went with a bit of a pop when that went. I don't think it was a gradual crack that just expanded and got bigger and excuse me, and then fell off. I think it probably did start with a small crack, and then at some point it just went pow and fired this piece off. And luckily, because the strings were up to tension, it didn't, pop all the bridge pins out and, cause a freaking disaster. So got away with this quite lightly. So I've been, taking a look at this and doing a lot of thinking. I did mention this in the shop update, the March 24 shop update. And I had been toying with several ideas about what to do with this. I mean, obviously the bridge is broken clean in half, cleanish. So I had a few thoughts, and I've been going a little bit backwards and forwards with these thoughts. I do have some spare guitar bridges. I've got two of them here. Actually, I've got three, but these two. But these are a different shape. You can see these are quite a fancy shape as opposed to the bridge that's currently on there. Oh, it's the wrong way around, sorry. So they're a completely different shape, and to try and match those up with the footprint would have been very problematic. And even the bridge pins on here are in a straight line, but these are on a curve, the same with the other one. So, alignment would have been a problem. Matching the footprint, i.e. where all the finish is removed from the guitar to glue the bridge on, wouldn't match up. And, I have never claimed to be any expert with guitar finishing. It's not my particular line of expertise. I'm not very good at it, so I don't mess about with it. So, alignment would have been a problem, the footprint would have been a problem, and obviously I'd have had to re-drill all the bridge pin holes to match these curves, and subsequently the intonation would have also been a problem. So, obviously these are completely ruled out. They're not going to work. They're the wrong shape, wrong size, wrong orientation, wrong saddle placement. So Another option I had and thought long and hard about, so let me just put that sort of back together. Actually, let me just put the camera down, just the easiest way right now, without switching it off preferably. So, those two bridges are ruled out. They're the wrong shape, wrong size, wrong footprint. They're all wrong. They're beautiful bridges, I love the shape of them. One of them is a used one and one of them is a brand new one. You can see even the bridge pin holes have not been drilled right through. And these are not even exactly the same as each other. They are slightly different in shape. But those are for another project. So, what I did find is I have this bridge. Okay, let me just try and put that one together a bit more. It's not going to work. So I have this bridge, which, although it doesn't look like it right now, because this one is kind of split apart, is almost identical in shape and size. Pretty much identical. Well, not identical, but very, very close. So the width is exactly right, or I don't know, would you call that the width across that way? That's exactly right. The length this way, this one is a fraction smaller, but that wouldn't matter because the finish has not been taken off at these edges very well anyway, so this would probably match up. So the size, the shape, the footprint all seem pretty good. However, the big difference with this bridge is it's a left-handed one. Now, I was actually thinking, this is a good opportunity to convert this guitar to left-handed. Okay, left-handed guitars don't sell as well as right-handed because more people tend to be right-handed. But I thought, what an interesting project this would be. I have done a left-handed conversion project before, a couple of years ago, and recorded it, but I didn't record enough of it to make it instructive enough. And I did have a couple of negative comments actually on that video series. There's only 3 of them, saying, you know, that I didn't really show and explain enough of the work, and they're absolutely right. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a much better video series on a left-hand conversion. So the difference between a left-hand bridge and a right-hand bridge is the angle of the saddle slot. So this end is towards the sound hole and this end is away, whereas on this one it's the opposite way around. This end is away from the sound hole, this end is closer to the sound hole. Now, to fit this bridge it would be pretty simple really, because it's so close to the original. However, I don't have a saddle for this. So I don't have a left-handed saddle and I don't have a left-handed nut. But I would have made them, no problem. I mean, I've got saddle blanks and nut blanks, I could quite easily make them. But literally just about a half hour before making this video, I thought, maybe I will save this for another project and just repair this bridge. So it is repairable, but the question is, would it be strong enough? And I think the answer is yes, it would be. The only problem I am going to come across is fixing it so good that you cannot see the join. Now there is a little trick to disguise things like that. Basically sanding and adding glue, and you basically fill, any sort of little gaps or gouges. So I think that's what I'm going to do at this stage. Is just repair this bridge and put it back on. But before I put it on, I will mark around it and, you know, remove the finish better than it is at the moment. So I think rather than trying to do a left-hand conversion, which I would have enjoyed doing and it would have been a really good video series, I'm going to initially repair this bridge, and if it's good enough, that will be what I'll do to this bridge, to this guitar. Repair the bridge and refit it. If for some reason that does become a problem and it's not going to work, then maybe I will still do the left-hand conversion. But I do think at this stage it's just going to be a repair. So what I need to do is remove all this. So I've already got the strings slackened off. So I'm just going to put a capo on the top, the first fret, just to hold all the strings in place so that I don't have to actually remove them. So yeah, I've just put a capo at the first fret there, and then I'll remove the strings from the bridge end and just coil them up at the headstock so that I don't have to actually remove them. Incidentally, I have already also measured these strings to see what gauge they are, and they're 1252s, so a medium gauge, medium getting towards heavy gauge, but you know, really it's a medium gauge. So doing the left-hand conversion, because the bracing inside this guitar is for a right-handed guitar, putting these, you know, fairly high gauge strings on a left-hand conversion might have caused some strain to the body. So that's possibly another reason why I won't do the conversion. You know, it's oh, sorry, so another option I could have gone with is with this left-handed bridge, is to fill the slot with, you know, some of this type of wood, fill the slot and recut it as a right-handed bridge. But I thought, no, I don't want to, because I've only got this one left-handed bridge. I want to keep that for a future project, so I'm not going to convert this bridge to right-handed. What's the point? Right, so enough waffling. I'm going to remove the bridge pins now in their current orientation and put them in my little holder block, because yeah, see how easily they're coming out. You know, I'm almost certainly just going to do the repair and replace this bridge as it is. So let's just take all those pins out, which are coming out really easily because there's nothing holding them basically. Okay, last one's a bit of a nuisance. Yeah, okay. So those are all in my little holder, put that to one side. So I'll just remove that part of the bridge and see if I can now pull the strings out. Should be okay. 1, 2. Come on. Take the saddle out. Actually, I can just pull that bridge right out. There we go. Bridge removed. Done. Okay. Let's get the rest of the strings out. And also removing this bridge, I will be able to see if there's any damage to the body of the guitar itself. It looks okay at the moment, but I'll have a closer look. So now I'll just coil these strings up and just, you know, basically leave them at the headstock end. You can't really see what I'm doing, but just to keep them out of my way and so that I don't actually have to remove the strings. Come on, being a nuisance. Okay, so just got the strings coiled up there at the headstock end, and they'll be well out of my way. Right, so now I'm just going to remove this saddle and place that in my holder as well. Basically all this is an old guitar bridge glued to a block of wood so that I can do this, you know, and everything is kept safe and in the right place. Saddle doesn't actually fit in that slot, but that doesn't matter. Oh, it does. So that now is, you know, holding all of those secure. I'll keep that well out of the way and I won't lose it. Okay, now, so let's look at the bottom of this bridge first of all and see where the glue was on it. Not much. It's hardly surprising this thing popped loose. So that's the top half, and the bottom half here. You can see there really isn't much glue on that. I'm surprised it held as long as it did. So what I want to do now is just put the two pieces together and see how well they match up. They should match up properly, but maybe not. Maybe there's a little bit of warpage going on as well. Okay, so yeah, it goes together quite well, but you obviously can see where the join is. Just quite lined up. Let me just try that again. Yeah, I think the bridge may have warped a little bit. Perhaps that was one of the reasons why it popped. But yeah, I mean, once clamped up, you can see there is a gap here. If I squeeze it, it kind of closes up, and the same this end as well. So I think it will go together quite well. You know, if I'm squeezing it, you can see the gap closing up. So hopefully it will go together okay. I mean, I'm going to repair it anyway, regardless. But again, let's look at the back where the glue, it's just hardly any on there. It's ridiculous. It's no wonder, you know, these bridges do sometimes pop loose. And if I just put that over where the bridge was and kind of move it, yeah, I mean, I can see that the finish has not been taken off all the way around the bridge itself, so it was never going to last very long. Can you see what I'm doing there? So I'm having a closer look at this bridge now. I can see it is very dry. That was part of the problem. I just want to make sure that when I glue this back together, it's going to go together almost seamlessly. And I think, provided I get the glue coverage really good and I get it all matched up and get it clamped properly, it will be strong. It will definitely be at least as strong as it was before. My main concern will be disguising that join, because, you know, if anybody sees it, it'll say, oh, that bridge is broken, don't want that guitar. So yeah, how are we doing for time? So really, you know, I need to take some time and care to join this back together. And also, you know, if you look at this edge of it, clamping this is going to be challenging, really challenging. You know, getting the joint, the surfaces to match up and everything is not going to be the problem. The biggest problem is going to be how to clamp this. But I'll figure it out. So before I can go any further, that obviously is the next stage, to glue these two pieces together and try and figure out how to clamp it. So I'm going to end this video here, part one, so that now you know what this project is, and it's 99% certainly going to be a bridge repair and reattachment, not a left-hand conversion. That will be another project for another day. So I'm going to, off camera, try a few different techniques of, you know, clamping this dry without the glue on it, and see what I can come up with as the best solution. And then, you know, this will be glued back together and hopefully disguise the join. And then once that's all done, I will, you know, mark properly around the bridge on the body here to remove the finish for the glue surface. Which is, you've got to be careful doing that part, but it is relatively straightforward. I mean, I've done it many times, so I know how to do it now. But you know, the first time you do a job like that, it's kind of nerve-wracking, because if you slip just a millimetre and you mark the surface of the guitar, or worse still, split, you know, the outer surface, then you come across problems. So, off camera, I'm going to figure out a way to clamp this bridge together for gluing, and that will be the next stage. So, looking forward to getting into this project. You know, this first stage was just to, you know, strip it down and see what we've got, and where we go from here. So, hopefully part 2 will be coming soon. I've got to finish this video now, and I might have time to dry clamp this bridge, but I'm interviewing a teacher in about half an hour, so I might have to do this later. Okay, so part 2 coming very soon, hopefully. In the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.